All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the West Side Milwaukee School Board to order. Ms. Steele, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Suzette, would you please call the roll?
I will. Mr. Burns,
Present.
Mr. Becker,
Here.
Mrs. Kaiser's excused, Mr. Keller,
Here.
Ms. Deal here, Mrs. Carr's excused, Mrs. Lee here. Mr. Sikich is on Zoom
Yes, thumbs up.
and President Lee.
Here. Proper rules of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the meeting laws of the state of Wisconsin. Do you have any modifications to the agenda this evening?
There are no modifications.
All right, we'll move right into the superintendent's report.
So we'll begin with legislative updates. Governor Evers signed into law legislation that requires students to complete a half credit of personal financial literacy prior to graduation. So this is an important component so we can assist our students with learning how to balance checkbooks and other things to be successful in life. We do have a couple of shout outs and congratulations, specifically from NACI Principal Greg Gales. NACI would like to recognize Rob Tetmeyer, Mr. T, for his continued commitment in leading the admissions team at NACI. Every year, Mr. T gets the word out to 8th grade families about the option of NACI PBL high school as a high school option for their students. Mr. T works hard to create messaging, set up classroom visits, attend evening events, set up other 8th grade discovery nights, respond to interested families, give personal building tours, and more. On November 15th, NACI held his first 8th grade discovery night of the year, which starts the process of filling our 50 available freshman seats for next year. Well, we did more than that and have a good start. They filled 49 of the seats. So thank you to Mr. T for his commitment and work leading the admissions team. Healthy High School Challenge. Each year, Sodexo sponsors a Healthy High School Challenge designed to encourage students to make healthy food choices. Points are awarded based on meals served and healthy snacks and beverages purchased. 184 high schools from 136 school districts submitted 1,819,566 meals and 1,087,678 healthy snacks. After 5 weeks of competition, all 3 of our high schools placed in the top 90. We're one of only 3 high schools in the country to place three districts in the country to place 3 high schools in the top 100. All 3 high schools will receive $500 check from Sodexo Food Services to support their student councils. So I want to introduce Mike Stein and Chef Rebecca from Sodexo, who will come forward and make the check presentation.
Can
Hi,
you,
everybody.
can you go away the mic? Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Stein from Sodexo. I'm the operations manager. Chef Rebecca is unable to attend today. Sorry about that, but I do have checks for each of the schools. And here for Hale and Central are a couple of their representatives. So we'll pass these. That's Hale and then Central. And then I'll hold the one for Dotke over here as well.
Really cool.
You guys want us to move somewhere? Yeah.
And here, quick, please.
Yeah. Sure.
Student behind you.
You bet, thank you.
Next, we want to send a thank you to the West Dallas Lions Club. Thank you to the West Dallas Lions Club for their donation of winter clothing items to Horace Mann Elementary School. We're grateful for that, their generous donation. The next congratulations comes from Principal Chris Gosh of Irving Elementary School. Irving School would like to recognize music teacher Scott Greger. Irving School recent winter concert was a true musical production. Students learned about the classical ballet, The Nutcracker, and performed their own rendition. This wholesome musical and theatrical performance included over 200 second through fifth grade students and wowed the urban community. Mr. Greger's musical concerts are always spectacular, and this year's production was one to remember. So just wanted to highlight quickly a couple of visits that have occurred since the previous meeting. We conducted instructional round at FLW, Hale, Wilson, Walker, and Jefferson. Met with the Principal Advisory Committee. This is a team of principals selected amongst their peers to meet with me on a monthly basis as we consider the needs of the principal and solicit their input as well in decisions that are being made. I attended the NAPSI conference the week of 11:30 through 12:03. A referendum engagement session at Nathan Hale High School. We had a great turnout on the 5th of December. Referendum engagement session with the Educational Association, where we sat down with them and went through the presentation, as well as solicited any feedback from them as well. Mitchell Elementary School lighting event, there were a lot of parents out. And so special shout out to the Mitchell Elementary community, parents, as well as teachers and staff members. Excellent turnout for that event. CISA number 1, Superintendent's monthly meeting I attended on last Friday. Board member one-on-one meetings have continued, and we concluded all of those in November. Elf Junior theatrical performance on last Saturday. I left just shaking my head at the musical talents and musical and acting talents of our students, specifically our middle school students who were the performers in this particular play. And then we continued our coffees with the superintendent session this morning. We were at the West Dallas Cheese and Sausage this morning from 7 to 8:30. Excellent turnout. I do want to send a special shout out to those who did attend the toy giveaway at Target. Mr. Zeman, who was an alumni of our district. Mr. Zeman attended Washington, Horace Mann, and West Milwaukee. I do not want to disclose how much he gave, but I can tell you that each one of our recipients were able to get $75 a piece. And he also donated $200 to the school for wraparound items such as socks, clothing, undergarments as well for each one of our schools. I put in here some pictures from the event. I was just amazed at the organization from the rec department under Shelley Strasser, how it was just so well organized and just well attended from our schools. They volunteered. We had over 100 student volunteers for this particular event. And to see the various clubs, teams, organizations from our district was just moving. Also, a special shout out to our orchestra who provided the entertainment as well. And I even took a picture with Herbie the Husky. So just a couple of other highlights before we close out. Just wanted to kind of give an update on our family engagement experience update. So the Let's Talk app has been a major success. We've also added a phone number specifically that goes with this app. It's 414-600-0519. There's also a text option that will be coming soon if you would prefer to reach out in that particular method. We have 245 logs, average response time of 2 hours and 3 minutes. And an average score of 9 out of 10, which we think is very good to have. And it's good to look at your data and see how you are doing. And I think that the individuals who are scoring us are giving us their honest opinion about their experience, and that is definitely appreciated. Something that we've also added to our family engagement role is each one of our newly enrolled families, they do receive a phone call to kind of just survey about their experience so far in the district. So it's just kind of a follow-up. Since from 9/26 until 12/6, we had 167 students enrolled in a school or program, and all of those have been notified. Families do receive a survey, English and Spanish, with a follow-up call when requested. And so also formal complaints and concerns, we have 13 formal complaints we've addressed that we received. 12 have been resolved on time, and one still currently open that we're working on as we speak. A total of 51 concerns and all closed. So we are really showing how we are responding to the needs of our community in real time, which I think is very important. Something that's coming up that we're excited about, we're relaunching our volunteers in public schools, our VIPS program. So we want our community to know that they are VIPs. And something we've heard while conducting our listening and learning sessions is it just feels like our schools are still closed from COVID. We really want to let our parents and community know that we want you here. There's a process that everyone has to go through to be approved. But we want you to know that the doors are open. And we're looking for volunteers to help us out on a daily basis to be consistent in providing supports. We're proud. One of our own board members is Ed Walker, stacking books, and we're good. We're glad that we have people who are leading in that kind of way through service, and so we want everyone else to kind of follow that lead and volunteer in our schools. Lastly, I do want to follow up on an announcement that we made a couple of weeks ago concerning our retiree breakfast. Our inaugural West Milwaukee retiree breakfast will occur on Wednesday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We currently have over 115 retirees who've already RSVP'd. And so we are excited to have them in attendance, to engage, and to let them know that we miss them and we value them, as well as our service to the district during their time. And again, this is an opportunity for breakfast. We want to provide some district updates to them. We're going to have some swag bags for them as well, mingling, and just get to know me as a superintendent. So we're excited, and we hope to see all of the invitees there. I didn't want to open it up to the entire community, and the retirees there in attendance at the retiree breakfast. And that's all for superintendent's update.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to item 7, our public comments this evening. For those who are interested in public comments, if you're online, there is a link in the chat to sign up for public comments. If you're here in person, there is an opportunity to sign up in the back. For those who are providing public comments, you have 3 minutes to address the board. You start by stating your name and your address. There'll be no back and forth conversation, but there's simple answers that can be provided for the comments once completed. We can provide those, and any formal responses will be done by the next regular Board of Education meeting. So with that, we have one person signed up, Tabitha Rolfson.
Yes.
Hi there. Thank you so much for giving me a couple minutes here. Like you said, I'm Tabitha Rolfson. My son Malachi is a kindergartner. Sorry?
Need your address.
Oh, 1019 South 111th Street, West Dallas. My apologies. I was just going way too much caffeine today. My son Malachi is a kindergartner at Walker Elementary. A couple of weeks ago, I got a call from the office. My kid was saying his stomach hurt. And since he wasn't what they call a frequent flyer, they took it very seriously. I packed up my work with the hopes that I could attempt to finish my work day at home and picked up my son. About an hour later, he was asking for something to eat, and he said he felt much better, which made me ask, why did I pick you up from school? His response was that it was pizza day at school, always a favorite. And in order to finish everything on his tray, he had to eat super fast, and it made his tummy hurt really bad. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the kids at Walker Elementary get 20 total minutes for lunch. That's from the time that they step foot out of their classroom to head to the cafeteria to the time that they are told that they are done and they need to leave the cafeteria. This includes the time that they stand in line to get food, the time that they find a seat, any socializing while sitting with their friends. All in all, I figured they get about 10 minutes to eat their food. When I addressed this with Principal Miller, he said that they are not the only school in the district that does this. So this is a district-wide problem, not just a Walker problem, according to him. According to the CDC, kids need a minimum of 20 seated minutes in order to have enough time to finish their food. Seated time is different from the total time for the lunch period and does not include waiting in line to select their meal. The distinction between adequate sweet seat time and the length of their meal period overall is important because many activities can shorten the time to eat. Studies have shown that providing more time for lunch is associated with increased consumption of food and key nutrients, increased selection of fruit, increased consumption of fruits and vegetables, lunch, entree, and milk, and decreased plate waste. For many kids, the breakfast, snack, and lunch that they get at school is the only food that they will eat that day. Comparatively, when minors under 18 years of age, they may not work more than 6 consecutive hours without having a 30-minute uninterrupted break to eat. And no union would let an employee get by with a 20-minute lunch break. Why do we do that to our kids? The US government recommends that children have a minimum of 20 minutes to actually eat their lunch. However, many nutrition experts say that even though this is not enough for children to properly eat and digest their food before heading back to class. If we are giving our children a short lunch break, we are teaching them that food is an inconvenience and eating is an interruption in the day. We encourage them to gobble their food when the research shows that eating more slowly is healthier. And I realize I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to stop rambling and just say that it was nicely timed with the Healthy High School Challenge. What good does the number of healthy snacks and meals served if they have no time to eat it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the only person that I had signed up for public comments this evening. So we'll close public comments at this time and move on to board reports, starting with 8.1, review of our board calendar. So today is Monday, December 11th. We have a regular Board of Education meeting, immediately followed by a closed session meeting. Then on Monday, December 18th at 6 p.m., we have a regular Board of Education meeting. Then on Monday, January 8th at 6 p.m., we have a regular Board of Education meeting, followed by a financial stability and efficiency workshop, enrollment projections, and open enrollment seats for 24-25. And then Monday, January 15th at 6 p.m., we have a board workshop, financial stability and efficiency referendum 2024 workshop number 2. And then on Monday, January 22nd at 6 p.m., we have a regular Board of Education meeting, and then our financial stability and efficiency referendum 2024 workshop number 3. Move on to 8.2, our board committee reports. So 8.2.1, our college career readiness, life readiness committee does not have a report this evening, is that correct?
No.
Okay.
I did not know that. I didn't realize I'm a vice chair and I probably should have came up with that because I was getting my committee stuff ready for my communications. So.
All right, well, we'll look forward to a report from that committee next at our next regular Board of Education meeting. So we'll move on to 8.2.2, communication and community relations. Ms. Steele.
All right, so our communications committee met on Monday, November 27th. We reviewed recent district events, including Coffee with the Soup and the first referendum engagement session. It was noted that these events are reaching different groups of community members, which is encouraging. Our first referendum engagement session on November 16th brought in about 10 community members, while our engagement session on the 5th, December 5th, had about 40 to 50 people in attendance. The committee also reviewed upcoming December and January district events, including the inaugural WAWM retiree breakfast this Wednesday, December 13th at 9 a.m. Other upcoming events include a meeting with Carroll University on Wednesday to discuss our new partnership with them, a hot cocoa bar for our staff at all the schools the week of December 18th, and a brown bag lunch series where Dr. Robinson will make himself available during the lunch hour to meet with staff in their buildings. We also have 2 more referendum engagement sessions coming up on December 19th at the Recreation Building at 6 p.m. and on January 10th at Central High School at 6. In regards to referendum communication updates, the communication staff recently made 2 videos with WAWM alumni That includes a community member who attended Wilson Elementary back in the forties and a 1975 Central graduate. The focus of these videos is to bring attention to our district as a community made up of many different people and to draw focus on how old our buildings are and the upgrades that are needed. Committee also discussed changing platforms for our digital newsletter. Our current platform does not provide translation services, and the district would like to move to a platform that is able to translate our newsletters into other languages for our district families. And that's my report.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Deal. Does anyone have any questions regarding Ms. Deal's report? Or any suggestions for future agenda items? Seeing none, that is all we have for board reports this evening. So I'll move on to 8.3, board member reports of community events. Any events that board members attended they would like to report on? Ms. Deal?
Okay. So I was able to actually attend the referendum engagement session on the 5th. Thank you to everyone that showed up. We had a really good crowd, which was great. I was actually able to go to Irving last week, Thursday, and I saw their Nutcracker musical. It was phenomenal. It was really great. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And then I was also actually able to be at the Target experience on Saturday morning, which it's always so awesome because it's like tons of high school students and our staff are there, and it's just a wonderful experience. So I was able to walk through with one family and take one of the kiddos shopping, which was a lot of fun to do. So.
Thank you. Mr. Becker, I believe you had your hand raised.
I made it to the FLW 7th and 8th grade band concert last week, and then made it to several performances of the Elf over the weekend. So for both of those, I want to thank the adults, the teachers who run those programs. It's months and months of preparation and long days. And then also to the teachers, current and elementary teachers, who are our kids' former teachers, coming in, taking in the show and showing their support. It was nice to see that continuity from year to year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Anyone else want to report any events they attended? Mr. Burns?
Sure, yeah, I also attended the FLW band concert, and that was an orchestra. It was awesome. Also got over to Hoover for their choir concert and for their orchestra and band concert that went on, and it's always a sweet deal to be able to see the wide range of skills that the kids are coming up through their different programs. My son's just in his first year as a second grader, and so it's doing a lot of drills for his concert part, but it's really cool to see. And then the other thing that we got out to do, which was really nice, was we got to the West Dallas firefighters charities pancake breakfast with Santa, and that's a nice event to help support and raise some money for a good cause. So it was really good to see, and the kids got to climb around in the ambulance and check out some of the fire equipment. So it's cool.
Very good. Anyone else want to share any community events?
Well, I myself wasn't able to, but on behalf of my son, he's one of the volunteers, one of the basketball players that was at Target. And he wasn't able to do it last year, but he was able to do it this year. And he said it was just a pretty cool experience to be able to go and take part in that. And he was able to help. I forget how many kids he shopped with, but he said it was pretty neat. He's like, yeah, the first kid was it's really easy, he's able to spend that money pretty fast. And then the second one, well, it took a little longer. he's like, he picked up a few things, and my son was like, all right, you want to get that? He's like, no. He goes, yeah, it took about 45 minutes. So it was just really kind of cool to see how the kids differed in their experience and stuff. So he said it was a neat experience. So it was pretty cool.
Exciting is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Nate. Anyone else want to report on events? It's everyone except for me. I was we didn't mention about the West Dallas Christmas parade, but I know a number of us were able to walk in the Christmas parade so last weekend. So it's always good to be able to get out in the community and let people know. A lot of people don't know who we are, so we can show our faces and let them know that we're out there and that we exist. So that was a good time. It was good weather for it too. It wasn't super cold, but it wasn't hot. Sometimes it's difficult when you're wearing all your Christmas gear to walk if it's 70 degrees outside, but luckily it wasn't that in this year in December. And then I also was able to attend the Hoover's winter concert. My daughter performs in the chorus in the orchestra, so she had a good time, and the band also did well that we have. And it is, as we say, we come and watch these things as parents. We see our kids go up through it, but even as a board member, when you're seeing and listening to an elementary concert versus a middle school concert versus a high school concert, you can see that growth that happens. And that's always great when we have those all city concerts that are coming up, I think in for chorus, band and orchestra, and you can actually see them all together at once. So an early plug for that, but those are on the calendar ready for our all city concerts coming up early next year. All right, well, that's all that we have for that event. And then for 8.4 for mine, I just want to put a plug in for next week. We have our next referendum information session. We are seeing growth in the number of people that are coming. We hope to see that continue for our next session that we held at the Recreation Center on the 19th. So it is an opportunity for feedback from the community for what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, to answer your questions and to hear from you. And then we're going to be utilizing that feedback from those sessions, as well as additional feedback we'll be soliciting after these sessions are completed to make our decision as a board for what sort of questions that we're going to ask, for how much money that it will be for, and what things we're going to use it for. So if you would like to have a say and input on that, I would encourage you to come to these events when they are available to you. Please put them on your calendar now so that we can, I know it's a busy holiday time, but 19th is next week. It's only 1 hour long. If you're interested, please attend. All right, with that, we'll move on to our consent agenda this evening, starting with 9.1, approval of minutes from our regular Board of Education meeting on November 27th. 9.2, our employment summary, and 9.3, our supplementary contracts. Does anyone need anything separated out? If not, I would look for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any last minute discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Sickich, just a thumbs up. Opposed? All right, that passes. And move on to our action items this evening, starting 10.1, FLW extended travel to New Orleans, October 8th through 11th, 2024. Ms. Raj and others.
And others, let's see. Hi, I see Ms. Kemka on here. So I'm just gonna introduce, hey, Ms. Kemka, that the Frank Lloyd Wright Intermediate School is looking for approval for an 8th grade trip next year in October of 2024. So I'm gonna let Ms. Kemka kind of talk to us about it. Okay, let's see if we can hear you.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Am I able to share my screen? We have a bit of a PowerPoint. I know Ms. Casau is going to be starting as well. I am Jen Kemka. I've born and raised in West Allis and very proud to still teach here. I've been teaching in the district for 15 years. I currently teach 6th grade math and science. And I've been doing this trip will be my 3rd trip with Frank Lloyd Wright. So we've got 3 other members here as well. I'm sorry, had too much caffeine as well. Is it all right if I share my screen? Is that okay?
Yeah, I should have access to, so. Are you able to, Ms. Kemka?
Let's try this. Does that work?
Yep.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. There we go. So then Ms. Casau, I know she was going to be starting us off as well. You're on here as well? Yes, Ms. Casau?
Yes, I am. My name is Sarah Castle. I've been a teacher at Frank Lloyd Wright for 21 years now. And this is probably the 10th trip I've been doing with the 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders from Frank Lloyd Wright. We've done DC in the past, Boston, New York was last year. So we are looking for the New Orleans trip approval for next October. So this would be for current 7th graders, will be 8th graders next year. You should have received an itinerary already about the trip, I believe, correct? I believe that is. We do have a sample itinerary up here for you guys to look at as well. One of the big, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but one of the big highlights I thought of was that there is a riverboat cruise on the Mississippi. And they have dinner on there, and it's live jazz music on there. That's probably a once in a lifetime experience for these kids. And one of the other big things too is that they get to do a ghost tour for that. And if you can see on there, it also shows the cost of the trip is $1,749. So it comes out to about $205 almost. That's 8 monthly payments that they can do. This company also provides, well, first of all, everything is included in the trip. That's their airfare, their food, lodging, all of the excursions that we will be doing. And they also have a flagship scholarship provided through the company. And they also do provide financial aid as well. So it's any family who has a combined income of under $80,000 is eligible for that financial aid. It is on a first come, first served basis. I believe that's pretty much it, unless anybody has any questions about this before we go on to the next. I believe Clemmy's going to talk next about the standards. We good?
All right. Hi, I'm Crystal Clemmy. I teach over at FLW as well. I teach World Humanities in NXGL, the learning community there. This is my 7th year teaching, and then this will be my 4th trip. So looking at New Orleans, Jen, do you want to go to the next
one? Sorry.
Keep going. 2 more.
Oh, it's standards. My apologies.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually a huge part of the 8th grade social studies curriculum. Starting even just with Manifest Destiny and the whole Louisiana Purchase, this will blend perfectly in with that curriculum and then the standards as well. We have a lot on the agenda that will kind of match in with this and the understanding of what the United States got when we got the Louisiana Purchase, as well as New Orleans has always been one of our biggest ports in history. So for this area, so to understand that and the concept of how New Orleans really, when the United States got ownership of that port, how that changed pretty much everything economically, politically, for the United States. So this trip and all of the different pieces we have with it really will blend well with the 8th grade social studies, GVC, and curriculum. And then as well too, there's a lot of other pieces that that we can talk about too as well. I know we are going to the Whitney Plantation Tour, which is the one plantation tour in New Orleans that focuses on the people who were enslaved. So at the end of the 8th grade curriculum or content curriculum, it actually goes into the Civil War and then should end right around Reconstruction. So going through the Whitney Plantation is really a good experience for these kids too, as far as that goes as well. And then we have all of the different GVC and curriculum standards. I won't read them word for word for you guys, but.
Fantastic. The next thing, oops, I'm sorry. The next thing we were going to talk about is the travel club that we actually hold. Miss Clemmy and I started this when we first started our first trip with Miss Casau to Washington, D.C., learning about some different things that the kids know about or are blissfully unaware of as far as travel goes. We love to be able to share that with them. And so travel club is something that is open to all students that like to travel, want to learn how to travel, want to learn what anything is about. But then what we are trying to do though is focus that more towards where we are going that year. So this year, or I'm sorry, so last year we focused a lot on New York, even though we did talk about travel around the state and around the country as well. The year before that, we focused on Boston and then Washington, D.C. before that. So this year, most of our travel club will be focused around New Orleans, the surrounding areas, the history, the tourism and attractions. One thing that we do though want to do this year, it will be different this year, is that we want to have one meeting a month be a requirement for those who are intending to attend our trip this year. And really that's just for getting all the questions that they have answered, being able to go through some of the historical destinations we'll be going to, go through some of the expectations we have on travel. And again, going through some of the things that we didn't realize, well, sometimes we don't realize that students don't get to do a whole lot of traveling. And so a lot of students we've been with have never been on a plane before. So learning about airport etiquette and travel etiquette in general, when we go to New Orleans, it's a completely different area. And, you know, what might be acceptable in one place is no longer acceptable in another. And so being able to have that meeting once a month really revolved around this is something that we're excited to instill upon the students as well. one other thing that I wanted to talk about as far as travel club is we do also talk about fundraising for the trip itself. So I know Ms. Casau said that there is a scholarship that is available and there are ways in order to pay for that. But we include the kids in a lot of the decision making for this. It is their trip. They are learning about their history. And so we like to have them involved. We've brought up selling t-shirts before, having things like bake sales and having other kind of fundraising activities as well, to help students be able to pay for this trip. We tried to do some fundraising last year for the New York field trip, and it proved to be a little bit difficult when we had both Frank Lloyd Wright and Lane coming together for that consolidation, and not a whole lot of people showed up for our meetings, unfortunately. But hopefully this year, with all of us being in one school and all of us being in the FLW family, we can kind of bring that back and see what the kids really want to do and how they can help. And I think that might have been the last thing that we had. It was.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Team FLW?
Any questions from the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any last minute discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Just like it's a thumbs up. Opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you very much. Have fun.
Thank
Good
you so
luck.
much.
Thanks,
Hey.
team. Appreciate you.
All right, so we'll move on to, get my screen back up here. Yeah. Item 10.2, 24-25 budget calendar. Mr. Norris is unable to be with us this evening, but I'm confident Dr. Robinson will be able to get us over the finish line here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the school board approve the budget development calendar for the 24-25 budget cycle. Just a little background. Each year, the administration prepares a budget calendar for the West Allis, West Milwaukee School Board to approve. This budget calendar formalizes our budget cycle, which helps us prepare for the 24-25 school year. So we are asking for approval of that.
This is the annual item. We used to have a workshop on this, so we got rid of because it was basically the same thing over and over again. They just got adjusted due to the calendar changes as the years go by. So it's just a pretty straightforward annual thing for us to do. Does anyone have any questions?
To approve. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any last minute discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Sikich is a thumbs up. Opposed? All right, that passes. All right, with that ends our action items for this evening. We're going to be moving into a closed session, so I'm going to take the opportunity to do that before we take a break. So I'd look for a motion and a second to convene into executive session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85 parent 1 parent D to review written evaluations of school safety drills as required under 2017 Wisconsin Act 143.
So moved.
Second.
Can we get a roll call?
Mhm. Mrs. Lee? Present. Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser's excused. Mr. Sikich will join on Zoom.
He's a thumbs up.
Very good. Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Mrs. Carr's excused. Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Ms. Deal. Yes. President Lee.
Yes. All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess to get set up for closed session. We are at recess. Thanks very much, everyone.